Greetings and salutations to you. My name is Featherhoof.
And I'm CarnagePanda.
And welcome back to Anime Talk for Summer 2024, where we are on week 9.
Yeah, it's week 9. You know what? He got that right off the bat. Usually he has troubles with which week it is. He's like, you know what?
I didn't even need to ask him. Nope.
I woke up today and I didn't know where I was. And, you know, that's the story of my life. I'm like, I think waking up is like the worst part of the day.
Agreed. I woke up, I forgot where I left my pants, didn't know who I was, tripped over some clothes, banged my head against the corner of a desk, the breakfast burnt, a car crashed through my living room, but...
Wow.
But...
That takes skill.
As I was standing there, watching this happen, examining the rubble, all the ashes of my life crumbling around me, I was like, well... At least it's week 9 of Anime Talk.
All right, I'm not going to give you floor plans to Featherhoof's house, but a car crashing into his living room takes real talent and skill because I've been to his house multiple times, and that's all I have to say. They have to be doing some Dukes of Hazzard shit for that. You're like a fucking ramp out in your front yard now. You're just asking for it at that point, man.
You know? That would explain why I heard a narrator before the crash happened.
That's the moment he knew he fucked up. He put a goddamn ramp in his front yard. Why are you doing that? Right into your house. That makes no sense.
That dare hoof boy is going to find out the hard way about putting a ramp in his front yard.
It's got to be the motorcycle dude you hear every day on his way to work.
Oh Christ!
He just sees the fucking ramp and he's like, "It's my time."
But yes, we're here to watch anime, though. Damn it! Oh.
They could have fooled me. I thought we were here to make fun of you and your ramp in your front yard.
Well, I mean, that's sort of, why I exist, is to make fun of myself. So...
Oh, okay.
It's not just a coping mechanism. It's also a way of life.
All right. Well, we have some animes to watch, but before we get into that, we're going to do our weekly put this stuff on your radar maybe segment.
Ooh.
Yeah, so over the last week, I was able to read 75 chapters of Giant Ojo-sama, and it's good. I really like it.
You heard it here, folks. That thorough breakdown.
Yeah, I told them so much with that. It's I wish this was airing right now instead of Sheikah. Because this nails the nonsense so much better, and the whole episodic thing, it doesn't really waste its time with characters like Boshime, which is your favorite character in the show. The main protagonist is apparently very, very smart, but at the same time very smooth-brained, if that makes any sense.
That does. I understand what you're trying to convey there. Because that's a lot like me.
And it's just dumb fun. Like, I would say this is like Invader Zim meets anime with just, instead of, Zim being an alien, it's just a bunch of smooth-brained Ojo-samas fighting kaiju and... The plot really makes no sense at all. They're just dumb, but it's fun, and the art style really lends itself well to. It's really cute and everything, and it really nails those reaction faces. Very, very good stuff here. So that was number 5 on was it last year's Anime Japan poll. So I went back and looked at that. I'm not gonna bring those up. I will bring up the 2024 one in a moment, but all like 9 out of 10 of the ones on the 2021 poll became anime, and then like 5 out of 10 on the 2022 polls became anime. So this probably has a pretty good chance of getting an anime adaptation. So I'm looking forward to that. But it takes like 2 to 3 years for an anime to pop out. So I don't know. We probably won't see this till like 2025, 2026.
Oof, that's one hell of a gestation period.
I mean, it takes time for the planning and everything. They got to get their animators under contract to be like, yeah, you are being forced to work on this show for this season at this time. Blah blah blah. I'm going to look forward to that one. Now it is kind of fan service heavy too, so that might be a turnoff to some people, but not me. And then I ran into another manga that just like I just surprised. I was like hitting the random button or something. I was like, I need something else to fill the void of my life. And so I'm just hitting the random button. I'm like, oh, that looks interesting. And so I clicked on it and I started reading it. And I think I'm going to have to continue on this one. This is the death-defying princess creates a Yuri harem to survive or something like that. And this is pretty much in the same vein. It has the princess. She's a complete asshole. And she wants to survive because the first chapter is, oh, she gets guillotined. And then she's going through like this time loop of just getting guillotined year after year because she's such a shithead. And she's like, how do I survive this? And it turns out that she goes to some fortune teller woman. And she's like, yeah, you have troubles with women. They want you dead. And so she is also a very smooth-brained protagonist that doesn't really learn. But her maniacal plan to survive getting guillotined is to seduce all the women and turn them into, just build her Yuri harem so that she can live. And this also has the reaction faces down. So this is a really good read. Like, I'm just posting stuff to Featherhoof for him to put in the video because it's all good stuff.
If I remember.
I don't think you can put this last panel in there, but they have a really good reaction. Well, maybe if you just I crop it or something, but
yes, I see. I'll have to crop that. Yeah,
but it looks really good, and I enjoyed this a lot. Good stuff. Now, we're just going to move on to the 2024 Anime Japan stuff because we did look at this last week, and it was interesting. Most of these titles I have no idea about. I've never heard of them, but there's 2 on here that we definitely we found interesting, didn't we? The first was Kagurabachi that came out at number 7. This is going to change everybody's life. We've already gone over that. So if this does not get an anime adaptation, I would be surprised because this has to be the next big thing coming out of Weekly Shonen Jump. Jujutsu Kaisen pretty much ended with last week's chapter, and it's a bad ending. That's all I have to say about that. The villain just like lost, and I don't know how to describe it. He just lost. But Kagurabachi will change our lives when it gets an anime adaptation, but that's probably going to be another year or so before that comes out because these battle shonen usually have around 100 chapters when they get their first episode out in a season, and this is only at like I think 47.
Oh.
Now, number nine. Did I send you the link? Yeah, I did.
Let me see where are we at here.
Number 9.
Here we go. Number 9. Oh, it's reverse order. Okay. Kindergarten Wars.
Yeah, so I think I might have to start reading that just based on the title alone. What are your thoughts?
Well, look. Now, It says kindergarten. Is it actually, are they in a kindergarten?
I have no idea. I haven't read it yet.
Because I'm looking at part of...
But
okay.
I'm
interested. Read the summary. Yeah, this is a black kindergarten where the world's heaviest kids attend.
What do they mean by that? Is this just a kindergarten for fat kids?
And it's an action romance comedy. There's too much about that in a row that scares me.
World's heaviest kids. I don't know what to make of that sentence. I really don't. Anyway, we're going to start watching animes now, and it's going to be good. And bad, right?
Well, I mean, hopefully more good than bad. I hope.
First off, no. No. That is evil. Any school that makes you do homework over summer vacation should not be a school anymore.
I agree. I mean, actually, that was something that confused me because, I mean, I know that to bring up this book series is taboo nowadays, but Harry Potter and Prisoner of Azkaban, first chapter starts with him doing, doing his summer homework under the sheets. And I was confused as shit when I first read that. It's like, what school gives homework over the summer? What is that shit?
I only took one. No, because when I was I was doing things in the summer, but as I aged, I started doing stuff outside of school. But I only took like one class in university during the summertime, and I had to just to make it up because of real life stuff that got in the way, and I wasn't able to do it. And it was a 5-week course, so I kind of got blindsided at the time, and I wasn't able to do any of the work in there. So I ended up taking an F in the class because I didn't take any of the tests or whatever. And
congratulations.
I was able to salvage the rest of the that semester because they were 15-week courses, but that one I just got my anus blown out in it, and so I took one in the summer, but it was a 5-week course, so that was okay.
Well,
all my other classes, and throughout high school and middle school and elementary school, I never had homework in the summer, and I think that doing that is just diabolic.
Agreed. But then again, that being said, I don't know if Japan's one of them, but I've heard in other places around the world, like their school year isn't like ours, where it's not,
Yeah, I don't think their school year is like ours, but
where it's like, I mean, I'm going to butcher this. I think it's something like they 2 months of school, then a month off, then 2 months of school, a month off, something like that, or something like, or X number of weeks and then a vacation, then an X number of weeks, then a vacation, something like that.
But why not 3 months of vacation where you get to do whatever you want? I just I know they bring up issues like kids forget stuff into their next school year, and yeah. This is an embarrassing story, but I forgot how to divide in the 5th grade for like the first couple of weeks, and I didn't tell anybody. Like, I just did not know how to do division in math, and I'm like, how do you do that again? Like, eventually I figured it out, but I was like, oh man. Yeah, so summer homework, terrible idea.
Well, see, I just can't even imagine going to school in the summer. At least nearly every school I've ever been to, it's, the damn places are freaking saunas. They never have enough money to repair their air conditioning or even have fucking fans in the room. So I can't even imagine being in some of the classrooms I was in with summer heat going on. That would
you make a very good point there. Yeah. And then you have like schools that have multiple floors, like you're on the 3rd floor or whatever, yeah, and heat rises. So yeah, I think it's a good idea that we have summer vacation.
And then you throw a paper airplane outside the window and watch it going up and down along the wall.
Okay.
You remember
Continue?
that? Come on, you gotta remember. You gotta tell me you remember that.
I don't remember it.
You don't remember
I actually
that?
don't. I don't remember it.
We were in class. It was Spanish. We were because we were in that corner of the building, and we made the little paper airplane just like opened the window, went just like dropped it out the window, and watched it going. Just like the wind kept bringing it back up, and then it would spin.
Apparently, I forgot something very awesome.
Ah, okay. Why is this one thing following me around this season? Why? I'm not eating bell peppers. They're gross. No. Stop it, anime.
So normally I would antagonize Featherhoof about this, but this little piece of music that they keep playing here reminds me of a piece from a game that I used to play on the SNES when I was a kid. It's called Paladin's Quest. It was relocalized from a game series called Linus, but I swear it has this same piece of music in it. Also, eat your bell peppers.
Heard of that.
It's an RPG.
I didn't have an SNES growing up, but I think I might have seen it somewhere before.
I don't know. Maybe I played it in front of you, but it's an RPG from Enix, and I don't know how to describe it. So the major gameplay mechanic to it is is magic, and it doesn't use MP in it. To cast magic, you actually have to sacrifice your HP to do that, and it doesn't really matter. You're just going to cast spells no matter what, so it's not that big of a penalty. But you have to sacrifice, like, I don't know, maybe 10% of your HP for your strongest spell to cast it.
But still, there's no spell spamming then.
Well, no. The entire game pretty much revolves around casting magic. So, you can do physical attacks, but it's never as good as casting a spell. Like, once you start getting multi-target spells, that's all you want to do because they're the best. And it doesn't have like traditional, like, you have a magic stat where, you have 49 magic, then you level up and you have 50 magic. Now your spells are a little stronger, do more damage, you get better healing. It has this whole spirit thing where you buy spirits at the store, and then you're able to get access to that spirit's magic, and then like that spirit crosses with another, like you get the fire spirit, and then you get the ice spirit, and then you get like fire plus ice equals this, and you get a spell for that. And as you cast your magic, these meters will go up, and that's how your magic gets stronger through use. It's kind of like a Final Fantasy II or Saga system, where you do something in battle, like you hit somebody with a sword, your strength's going to go up. You use spells, your magic's going to go up. But it pretty much is just, you want to use magic.
But do you have to eat bell peppers to use magic?
Interesting question. I don't remember. I'm not sure if that was a plot point. If you have to eat bell peppers to use magic, then you're shit out of luck.
Yeah.
Featherhoof is the only person in the world that would willingly choose not to use magic. He would go for the melee build.
Damn straight.
It's not about outrunning, it's about outlasting.
That was a Super Mario Superstar. So just like this show. Does that mean that all the contestants in this race have to watch this show?
Okay, that went in a direction I didn't even expect. Shots fired by Featherhoof here.
Bang, bang. Have you noticed that her headband says something different every time they cut to her?
Has it?
Now the subtitles say so.
That's like a character in 2.5 Dimensional Seduction. Every time the panel comes back to her shirt reads something different. All right, we've already gone over this, but we got to turn the car around and get the fuck out of here, man. This is no.
I'm pretty sure they've already gone through the parking lot. There's not a working car left.
Those poor cars. Oh man, those insurance companies are about to get a bad. They're gonna have a bad day.
Once again, just like this show.
This poor show. You know, it started out so good, and
but then they introduced a cast.
Yeah, and it's just mid, I guess, at this point. Like, it's not even bad, but it's just bleh.
This show is just like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay, explain.
When we got up to like Sonic, we had Sonic 1, 2, 3, Sonic CD, all great games. And we had Amy, Knuckles, Sonic, and Tails. Then it kept going, and it kept introducing more characters, and more characters, and the quality kept going down, and down. Just like this show. We had Koshitan, and we had Nokotan, and then they added another character, the Anko, and then they added Bashime, and then they added the Council, and it's just the quality kept going down, and down. And so it's the same problem.
Okay, that may be true, but the first stage of Sonic Adventure 2, that is a banger of a stage.
Oh, Escape from the City?
Yeah.
Well, it's a banger song. The stage is still a Sonic Adventure stage.
No, the stage is good. And then, like, the rest of the game, okay, what's going on here? When's the last time they made a good Sonic game?
Sonic Generations.
I'll have to take your word for that, because I have not played a Sonic game since the Genesis.
Hey, so look, the creme de la creme of Sonic the Hedgehog is still Sonic 3 plus Knuckles.
Knuckles. That title always gets me.
I'm sorry, and Knuckles, not plus Knuckles, but still.
Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
It is still the creme de la creme. But it's like Sonic Generations, I think not only does a better Escape from the City stage than the original Sonic Adventure 2 version, but is just a great collection of awesome stages. Even if it has to involve the unnecessarily large rotating cast of Sonic characters.
Okay, there you have it. I may have been caught lying because I played Sonic Adventure 2, but I never beat that game. I only got so far, but my memories of that game are just the first stage.
Well, that's a good memory, because, like I said, that song is fucking rocking. So
I should probably add that to my playlist now that I think about it.
What the author hoped this show would be.
I wonder if there are differences between this and the manga. If the manga might be funnier and the jokes are just not landing in the show.
I don't know.
Obviously, we're having a Naruto music reference here. Is that from the first part or part 2?
What?
Of Naruto, where they played that music.
I think it was the first part. Back when it was more centralized within the Hidden Leaf before it spread outwards.
But this poor show, we're just going to start bashing it hard. This is the show that we look forward to the least. It had a lot of promise, but...
Well, we're back. Oh, man. We're back with a situation. I don't know if this is a situation with just how comedy hits between, like, modern comedy. Because, I mean, there's been comedies before in anime that have been hilarious and I've looked forward to.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
Go back to, back before, when we were doing Anime Talk before the pandemic, and we were watching, the one with the dude who is only obsessed with animals. He's a luchador.
Oh, Kimono Michi.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
First 3 or 4 episodes of that, we were like, yeah, let's go. We're going to laugh our asses off. And then as we got on in the show, it was like, well, it's already on our list. Let's get it over with.
So yeah, that one's from the author of Konosuba, and Konosuba is actually okay. So what I'm going to say about Konosuba is pretty much the same thing. It has two good seasons, the first two seasons, and then it kind of overstays its welcome. And Komodo Michi just did that a lot faster.
Well, Komodo Michi had one joke, so
That's true. So some of these shows would work much better as shorts or just 4-episode OVAs. This very much feels like at this point that they just have a contract with the TV station to put out 12 episodes, and so they have to fill the time at this point.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, not everything that's going to show up in the full edited version of this episode is going to be in there, because there's too much animation, and I'm afraid of getting copyright strikes and stuff like that. Because we haven't been pausing as much as we probably should to comment.
That's true.
There are parts that even in this episode, I've given a hearty chuckle. It's got me to laugh because it's like the premise of this is like they can make more chaos, more silly situations, but they don't. The situation of this girl who's a deer, but who's a girl, but who's a deer. And it's not logical. Don't make sense. More things could not make sense, and they could make it funny. But they decide not to.
This was exactly my point about me wishing that Giant Ojo-sama was the show that we were watching right now. I'm having much more fun reading that because it's just like nonstop nonsense, and it doesn't take itself seriously. There's no, we've got to save the world plot or whatever. They're just fighting kaiju, and they're really cute, fluffy bunnies, and they're beating them up, and then they're like just having problems, and the problems are because of them, not because. Oh, this is so disappointing for me. There are good parts to it, but at the end of the day, I think our rating is going to be mid. Now, this is not the worst show that we've watched.
Oh, no.
There have been worse shows. Assassin's Pride is probably the worst show that we've actively watched.
See, I'd have to actually go back. I couldn't answer that, honestly, without going back and looking at what we watched, because I have a terrible memory.
That's the only one I could think of, because I was actually watching our list one time and I was skimming through it at the beginning of the season, and that one just caught my eye. And I was like, oh, that's a show that we watched. And I didn't actually remember that until I clicked on that and was like, oh, that happened. But yeah, that's a bad show, man. Not only is the subject
of Dororo.
the subject matter, pretty objectionable. It had bad animation.
Oh, what was that? That one with the detectives, and the one had pink hair, and the one... Oh, fuck, I can't remember.
I don't...
Double...
Double Decker. Okay,
Double Decker.
Doug and Kirill. Yeah, that one was disappointing by the end. We liked it at the start, and then they just rushed the fuck out of it. And the pink haired girl, the pink haired girl. Okay,
That's a dude.
I get it. What? Let me double check to see if I know what I'm talking about. Okay, the one guy has brown hair, the other guy has purple.
Yeah.
Where's the cast list? Oh, that's the extra. Okay. Yeah, Deanna Del Rio had the pink hair, and she was like, fuck this, I don't care about the rules. That was actually a good episode. But ultimately, the show fell flat.
Yeah.
So, unfortunate. Dororo.
Yeah, second season.
No, but Dororo, we watched the TV broadcast, and if you go back and watch it now, you might end up watching the Blu-ray where they fixed everything. So you're not getting the authentic Dororo experience.
Well, then there's Summer 2019, where the first episode has one anime that, that's not on the rest of them.
Oh, that's right. We did that switch up. Oh yeah, I
I
remember
think
that.
was it the firefighter one? I think was that the one that didn't make it to the second episode.
Yeah, we just like pretended that we never watched it. Then we were watching this other show the whole time. So I remember that.
There was 2 we dumped after the first episode, and then we started watching the one about being sent to Isekai with your mom.
I also feel like that one was a huge failure, but for different reasons. Okay, so now that Featherhoof has brought up the MILF Isekai, I'm just going to go on a rant about Hideaki Anno and his whole thing, if you will.
His thing.
So Anno did Evangelion. He was the director for it. And I don't know if I would ever want to go back and rewatch Evangelion at this point, because I have, at this point, watched Gunbuster. I don't know if you've watched that.
Never even heard of it, let alone seen it.
Okay, so Gunbuster comes, I think it's like 1988. It comes out 7 years before Evangelion. And right now I'm like 2/3 of the way through Nadia of the Blue Waters, if you will. I don't know if you've watched that either, but there's a certain themes that Anno likes to touch on, which is none of this really means anything. And so he puts a bunch of symbolism in there. And in Gunbuster, he does this as well. There's a bunch of scientific bullshit that he'll put up on the screen, like the Hilbert effect, blah, blah, blah. Hilbert, blah, blah, blah. Bunch of math and other stuff. There's a character in there named Jungfreud. I don't know how you get the name Jungfreud, but she has that name. This is never explained why she has that name. I would do this as well. I'd put it on there, but let me just put it in. You can't use this because of the way it's shot. The only places that she's seen are 2 scenes, and in both scenes she has her tits out. So she's wearing this cross. So this is never explained either. And since I'm going through my whole Xenosaga playthrough, I'm like trying to figure. The things that what's his face, Takahashi, the creator of Xenosaga, Xenogears, blah blah blah, is familiar with, because he's a huge anime otaku, if you will. So Obviously you can't use this in here because we will get our assholes blown out by YouTube. Never fucking explains this. Why she's wearing the cross. Why her name is Jungfreud. That character's name Jungfreud, by the way. We can't use this. She wears a cross. She's a good Christian girl, apparently. Never explained. Doesn't explain the scientific bullshit. Does the same thing in Nadia. And this is where I'm starting to really get irritated with his directing style and his plot and everything. He has a penchant for putting this stuff in there. Like, why? He doesn't explain it, and he does the same thing in Evangelion. It has like all the crosses and the Christian symbolism and stuff.
Yeah.
I truly believe him when he says it doesn't mean anything, because this is what I've gotten out of his other works. Doesn't mean shit. Doesn't get explained. And this is just tangentially associated with the MILF Isekai, because the MILF Isekai does the same thing. It's setting up, this is fan service for older guys, that are into older women. Okay, if you will, but he just lewds they lewd the 14-year-old or whatever in the shower scene, and they don't do it for they kind of do it, but they don't do it, and it's like, dude, what are you doing? This is my whole rant. I probably will never rewatch Evangelion, because in my viewpoint, a lot of this stuff doesn't mean anything, and it has just been captured and reinterpreted by the audience to mean what they want it to mean, and Anno didn't really have much to say on a lot of the subjects. Of course, I'm going to get people down in the comments telling me, you're wrong. This is the greatest anime of all time, you fucking heretic.
Well, my opinion on Evangelion, honestly, it was fine.
It's fine, but
I enjoyed myself. And that's as far as it goes. I mean, the deeper meanings, or but did you notice how he did blah or X, Y, and Z? Is like, I
think it's fine if you're doing it for entertainment's sake, but to get deeper meaning into it, it's kind of like how I feel about FLCL too. It's just a fun show to watch, and I think the audience just captures it and reinterprets it to mean whatever they want it to mean. Which, okay, you could do that, but I don't think they had some huge, thing they wanted to say with it. They just wanted to do some cool animation.
Honestly, for me, Furikuri is an amazing soundtrack more than it is an anime.
That's true. That's very true. This just makes me sad because I think Takahashi is such a better world builder than Anno, and also Tomino. He's a way better world builder. He did Gundam. Anno, on the other hand, never explains anything.
Some people are looking for different things in their animes than you or I. But then again, some people are looking for things so hard that they see it there, even if it's not. So
that's true. You got to be careful not to look into things to see patterns that aren't actually there. That's a human flaw that like almost all of us have.
See, she's right. A lot of the stuff in here is weird, and it is kind of funny how everyone acts like the weird shit is normal. But I really think that like the weirdness needs to be cranked up so that the weird can be funny.
I agree. This is just not hitting for me right now.
Oh my goodness, they're pulling her antlers and they're getting long. Isn't that a riot? Sounds like music I heard in Xenogears.
Is that fucking Xenogears?
I was just saying the same thing! The music! And there's something Xenogears-y.
Is that... I know exactly... Let me look this up real quick. We wounded... what the fuck? It's one of two songs in there. That's wild, man. I was just fucking talking about that too in this episode. The wounded advance into light, I think. Yeah. It's... Holy shit, dude. I think it is.
It's similar.
Okay, we were just talking about this in this episode because I went on my rant about Anno, and I brought up how Takahashi is just the better director and writer. I didn't expect him to actually make a Xenogears reference in here, and I guess you would have to play it to even understand, but this is a piece of music that Yasunori Mitsuda wrote called The Wounded Advance into Light. Is from Xenogears. It's slightly different, but it's pretty much the same thing. And they've been doing this throughout the entire show with other pieces of music from other things like Space Odyssey and stuff. But this is just wild to see this here because I did not expect that.
And there's it. While I was playing, looking at the art, like the still right here, there's something about it that's like, have I seen that? Have I seen that in Xenogears somewhere? One of the few anime cutscenes it has. There's something about this right here that's like, there's something stupid familiar about it right now, and I don't know why.
It was the music that was playing in the background.
But I mean, visually.
I don't think so. But I think it's supposed to evoke that religious theme that's going on there. Because that piece of music is played when they're in that church up in Nissan, and they're explaining that. And because I don't think a lot of people know this, that Mitsuda actually left the company during the development of that game, and that's why it doesn't have the usual 60 to 70 tracks in it, and they have to reuse the music a lot. But yeah, good stuff actually. Wild to see that, but I'm not sure this is enough to improve it, and I'll probably say a few things at the end of the episode. We're almost there anyway.
We're at the end of the episode, and I know this hasn't exactly been the cheery, happy commentary, but I can't help it, because I was looking over some of the other shows we review, so looking for the other comedies that we've watched,
Yeah.
And trying to find one to relate to, one that's like set like grounded, but still with that bit of weird and wacky, so it's not totally grounded like this show is. And I immediately thought about How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift.
Okay.
It's grounded. Actually, in some cases, it's even more so grounded than this. Because there's no deer. There's no freaking.
But, I'm gonna make a comment on this because I've kept up current with the manga, and it's not grounded at all in the manga.
Okay, well, I'm talking about how they're portraying it here in the anime, though, because that's what we're commenting on. In how Heavy the Dumbbells You Lift, it's so insane that it's nearly continually gut-busting funny. Yes, it has some moments. It has some duller moments so you can breathe. But it's so funny. And it's because there's so much exaggeration, so much silly, so crazy, but it's still grounded in the reality of human beings doing lifting.
I wish that got like a second or third season because How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift is actually very good.
Did it not? I thought I heard it got a second.
No, it still only has one season, but it has a lot going for it because it's an exercise manga that is educational, and it's also a comedy that's funny.
And here, they have a premise. They have a premise that they can take to places like that, like dumbbells, where you can go wild with it. But it feels like they're on purpose taking the crazy and grounding it, as opposed to taking the making the grounded setting crazy like Dumbbells does, and it's making things just fall flat, which should be funny.
Yeah, I'm also going to finish that with the Dumbbells. It also has the sexy in it, so it's got something for a lot of audiences. Now, here's what I want to say. Comedy is hard.
Yes, very much so.
Think about your favorite comedy movie, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Your favorite comedy show, whatever that is. I don't know, radio show, sketch, stand-up. It's actually very, very hard. It's probably one of the hardest things that anybody can do. So you really have to appreciate it when somebody comes out, stand-up comic like Chris Rock or
George Carlin.
George Carlin. All the greats, whatever. It's very, very hard. So this perfectly illustrates why it is so hard to be not only consistent with it, but to keep your audience, because a lot of this is started out strong, and now it's just falling flat. So just take a moment to think about your favorite movie, whatever, and just appreciate that because of how hard it is.
I hate to admit that right as the episode begins, it took me longer than I'm embarrassed to admit how long it took me to recognize who that was. There's something about the way that they changed her face or her eyes or something. I'm like, who the fuck is that?
It's been a week. It's just been too long for Featherhoof. He forgot to eat his bell peppers to increase his memory.
Wait, who are you? What are we doing?
Exactly.
Hey, look, it's Faye. Tell me she didn't look like Faye for a second.
Sure, if you say so.
No, go back.
I saw what you said. I get what you mean, but...
The one strand even goes up and down the exact same way. Come on.
He may be right. He may be right, audience.
Faye just got reincarnated.
This is another Xenogears reference for this week. This chick is doing her cosplay of Fei Fong Wong from Xenogears. So will we get something in Oshinoko? I don't know.
There's a ponytail, long ponytail, the one strand that goes up and down the exact same way. I'm sorry, it's female. It's FF, female Faye. It's Faye and Ellie's daughter. You know what? Not only am I granting her permission to be cringe for a second, but audience out there, I'm giving you all permission to be cringe for as many seconds as you want. More people should be willing to be cringe and not be afraid to be so. Enjoy your lives, damn it!
Okay, so you know how they always do those panning shots or whatever where the background changes and then they put the bubbles or whatever because every director of photography has to have the bubbles in the show that they do. It's just a thing. They can't help themselves, but is she just manifesting this into reality? Kind of like Neo does it in the Matrix Revolutions, where I never got that part at the end where he's just like, I'm able to use my powers in the real world now.
Yeah, but we all try to forget that movie existed anyway, so.
I've heard that the newest one is even worse than any of the sequels because, they could never match up to the first one in the first place, so.
I never saw the fourth one. I
haven't watched it either, so.
The only Matrix things I enjoy is the original and the Animatrix. Beyond that,
I'm only bringing that up because I was watching a video the other day that was talking about directing and stuff, and they used a clip from the newest Matrix, whatever the fuck it's called, and it looked bad, like really bad, like they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. And it's the same director, so I don't understand. All right, I don't have anything substantive to add here, but this line just made me think about a show that I actually have not watched. I only know the meme from it, and this is actual dialogue from the show, but this dude just goes up to this chick and is like, you don't deserve this big Toblerone. And it's like, what? What? You know what, Featherhoof? You don't deserve this big Toblerone.
I don't like Toblerones.
I feel like I should do that to somebody at some point. Just how the fuck do you get a Toblerone that big, though? I don't think I've ever seen one that big.
But, I don't know. Toblerones are pretty big, dude.
But you don't deserve it.
You can keep it. Sometimes, it's like you watch these and you're an adult and, especially with a show like this, that's a lot about people with issues, to put it mildly. It's like Rebus is allowing herself to be, completely derailed by what Nagomi had said to her. And it's just like, like my knee-jerk reaction is like, it's like, why? I was like, why are you letting what this chick who obviously was going out of her way to try and hurt you? Obviously, she didn't exactly hide it. She was trying to hurt you. Why'd you let her hurt you like that? Sack up and be the best cosplayer you can be. Don't let that bitch try and tear you down like that. But I mean, it is hard sometimes to remember these are teenagers. This is the time of high school where hormones run rampant and anxiety is high, and it's I think the show does do a really good job of presenting these characters like actual people in a way. Obviously animated, it's an anime, obviously exaggerations have to exist, otherwise it's just like, why not just make it live action at that point? But
I think this would work as a live action show. I can't vouch for the quality of it, but I think it would work as it because they're not shooting laser beams out of their ass or
but
anything like that.
I do like the characterizations they go into in this show.
Yeah, I think people care a lot more about what other people think when they're teenagers, and I certainly did when I was a teenager. But
Yeah.
as I got older, I just stopped giving a shit what other people think. And to give an example, like this one time I was in the store and I was just standing in line behind some dude. I don't know what the fuck his problem was, but he just turned around and he's like, "Why are you standing so close to me?" And I wasn't even close to him. So I just like stared at him like he was fucking smooth brain or something. And then he turned around. But then like a few seconds later, he's like, "Don't be so close to me." And I'm like, "Dude, I don't care. I'm not that close to you." And then he turned around. And then he did it for a third time. He's like, "Bro, you are too close to me." And it's like, I don't give a shit, dude. I really don't. Like, if that was high school me, I probably would have backed up or something, or gone like shyly back or something, just to be a bit more. Because when you're a kid, it's like the adults have authority and they should you should do what they say. But yeah, you find out when you get older that adults can be stupid. Like the guy in the line. Like, I don't know what the fuck his problem was.
Well, okay, now, because I wasn't there, and I don't know, I mean, how close were you? Because, I mean, that's not being judged necessarily, that's not like worrying about what other people think about you. There is some people have a degree of personal space that they prefer. That's not necessarily...
I was not within arm's reach of this guy. Like, if he wanted to take a swing at me, I would have been able to dodge it easily, so I was unfazed by him.
Okay.
It's just a thing they say in martial arts. The hand is faster than the eye. If you are within somebody's hands reach of you, they've already punched you. So I don't stand that close to people. With that said, I wish I had gone into dance classes as a teenager instead of karate classes.
I think this is the first time I think you spazzed out over the fingernails the one time and some animation. I think it was the first time I got impressed by some animation, and it's not necessarily the animation itself, but I guess it's the artwork, like showing the stages of panic that she's going through right now. Like, the way her eyes changed from like having all the shines in it to this duller form, and then like it goes into like the shrunken, even more dull. Like, I love the way that they transition her expressions here, and it's just in the eyes.
Yeah, it's all good stuff. This is actually where the show, I guess, the manga, the story, it just goes from that different direction from, it was a comedy all along to, well, maybe this is something a little bit more serious. And I love this because this is where it finds its footing and becomes something far better than it initially started out to be. Like, in many ways, this is a reverse Nokotan. It didn't start out the strongest, and I knew this going in because, spoilers, I've read the manga and am current on it, but I read a lot of reviews of it, and they're like, I just read the first 20 chapters, and this was just very generic. It's that meme of the person digging, and then the person under them digging, and there's a bunch of diamonds on the other end, but the one guy has quit, and the other guy's about to strike gold. This is a really good arc, and from here on out, this is going to be fantastic.
All right.
I think they do a little bit better in the manga. Just with the paneling of it.
But you were also really upset with like the way they were like the
last one
with the teacher.
The last time they just completely thematically changed some stuff and cut stuff out. So yes, I was upset about that. I'm still upset, and I don't know if they're gonna course correct, but I feel like that's just a bad thing for them to do, and I don't know why they did that. But I don't want to get on a huge rant about that. Another Bono rant.
I think we've had one this episode. I think we're good.
No. Can I read about? Nah, just,
No. I
gotta read about Otto again.
Maybe next episode. Tune in next week to find out.
I was gonna bring this up because actually, you just see the change in her expression and everything, and I can't find it in the manga. Why can't I? Oh, it's right here. Yeah. She's way more dramatic about this in the manga, but yeah, they didn't quite do this correctly. She's responding before Okamura does this in the anime, so
more people need to live by this creed. You need to know, once you've said what you need to say, you need to know when to stop. Because seriously, too many people, how do I want to put it? Screw up what they want to say, or what they want, the meaning of what they want to say gets lost because they just don't know when to stop.
Yeah, I did send you the manga panel of this. It looks a little bit more terrifying in the manga.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the reason they changed it, because it actually says flinched right there. So she's flinching and recoiling from him, like he's gonna do something, and then Magino here comes in for the save. So fortunately, we've got someone here who's more responsible and is gonna guide him, so he doesn't be a fucking idiot about that. Because when you're young, you just don't have the brain functions to do that. In psychology, they
age has
say
to do with it, because there's too many people who are much older than these characters who still don't, get it.
In psychology, they say that you're not fully developed until like around the age of 25, and you got your body development as well. This happens in sports. Most MLB players, because I watch baseball, they don't really debut till around the ages of 24, 25. You have to be some super freak to get out there at like 18, like Mike Trout. So, yeah, he could have really fucked this up because he doesn't have life experience. He's only 17, I think. I think
something like that.
16 or 17.
It's high school, so I mean, yeah.
He doesn't have that life experience or whatever, and a lot of young people do that, and it could have gone in a very different direction if he didn't have as Vegeta would put it, an adult. He needs an adult. And he's got an adult.
She is the adult. She threatened another student with a knife. Yes, she gets mad. Let me tell you the story about how I held up one of my students with a knife.
You do make a good point. Okay, she's sitting right by the window. That means she's the main character. She has taken over the role from Okamura and Ririsa. They are no longer the main characters. This is the Mayuri story now. You can't argue against this.
Nope.
Protagonist seat window. I win.
When you brought this show to me and said, this is one of the ones you want to do for Anime Talk, and you described it to me. We talked about it in our first episode of the season, where I was skeptical. I was like, oh boy, here we go. A lot of looting, a lot of privation, But how is this turning out to be like it has so many of these weirdly wholesome moments. Like it's just so sweet. This community of cosplayers are all like, it's like we will band together to find this one girl's skirt. Damn it! We will help each other and be kind. And it's like, how did I guess this is like one of those things of like subversion of my expectations, that it's like, I did not expect this show to be the one where I'd be like, "Aww," you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess just like I said earlier, the diamond mining meme. If you only read the first 20 chapters or whatever, you might think this is To Love Ru, or I guess I could use Yuna and the Haunted Hot Springs too, because that's also a Shonen Jump series that was just it's just fan service, and there is a plot line, but it's mostly just, well, we got to get their titties out as fast as possible, and blah 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 blah, and so that's basically what that manga is. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but sometimes I'm looking for something more substantive, and this gives it to you. So you can have both things, but in the anime, they've really scaled this back for the fan service and everything. The manga is a way different experience, but like I said in was it the previous episode that I just I'm not going to tell somebody who's an anime only to go read the manga, because they're just not going to go do that.
Right.
It would probably just deter them from watching it entirely. I don't know, but I don't think it's very helpful to tell people that are anime onlys to go read the manga. Just my opinion.
I swear, that's the kind of exaggerated face I've seen in One Piece, I think, about 50 million times. I'm something about that face that I love.
Well, I've never watched One Piece or read it, so, and I probably never will, because I'm waiting till it's going to end.
I said that to myself too, but
it's going to end.
But then, I remember there was like a while back, they were like, "Oh yeah, in 3 months, where it's totally over." That was like 8 months ago.
All right, let's be honest. One Piece will never end. This guy will be writing it, and he's going to go the way of Kenta Miura. Never finish Berserk. He's just going to have an existence failure.
Oh,
the same thing is
sad.
Same thing's going to happen for One Piece. This dude's going to be writing this for the rest of his like when did One Piece start? Like 1999. I guess I need to look this up, but I think it's been going on for like 25 years or something.
July 22nd, 1997.
97.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 2024, and this dude is still writing this. And it has over 1,000 chapters. I said I will read this when it's going to end, but I don't think it's ever going to end. I truly think this guy is just going to keep writing this and writing it forever.
But yeah, I don't know. We got off on a tangent there, but I just had to stop that because I was like, that. I swear I've seen that, like either that exact same facial expression or something very similar in One Piece. It brought
maybe it is a One Piece animator. They borrowed a One Piece animator for this scene right here. That's going to be my headcanon.
So with this episode over, why is it that it's the anime I feared the most this season is turning out to be the one where I'm like, I kind of want more of the world to be like this. I want people to act the way people act in this show. I want people to be kind and want to help each other and be supportive of each other and push each other. It's like for being the most grounded anime that we're watching this season is the most fantasy, because look at how nice everyone fucking is for the most part, with the exception of Nagomi there.
Yeah, you've got Nagomi in the corner just hamming it up and being the villain, but yeah, people are nice, but at the same time, a lot of the cast has problems and issues that they have to get through. So
yeah,
it is nice that they have, like I said earlier in other episodes, responsible adults to help guide them through. And I think this is cool because these adults don't even have all of their shit together, as they will also get into. And
I also got I can't forget that, the reason why Okamura is the way he is because his mother abandoned him. So, I mean, there's, not everyone in this world is super nice and shit. There's a reason these people have their issues. There's a reason why, Mayor, the teacher who, can't cosplay anymore. She has to worry about her career. It's not a picture perfect world. There's just so much in this show and in this world that I was just like, man, I want to see more of that. I just do.
I really wish they got more into that, like minor spoilers. They never really addressed the whole mother. She never comes back into the story or anything. As to date, I don't know if later in the manga that's going to be a plot point, but as to date, they really don't bring her back, or they'll mention like his dad, and he has a sister as well, but they cut that in the anime, so they don't really touch much on the families, except for one exception, which will come up in the second part of this anime in fall. So really heartwarming, but I'm not going to get into that and spoil it because it's best to experience it yourself. Okay, I have a feeling.
I don't know. It's just clearly as much as I loved Aqua's performance, the sister surely didn't seem to share that opinion. She's conked out.
Except for Ruby sleeping right here. She's like, whatever, man. And then that fucking drool expression. Yeah, actually, I like that. That's a good reaction face.
Okay, so yeah, Featherhoof and I were discussing this off screen. That he's 4 when this happened, and clearly a very traumatic event. His mother got stabbed in front of him, and she bled out and died, and he was right there in the room, and his sister was in the other room behind the door and couldn't get over there and didn't really know what was going on because their mother's body had pinned the door, and she also 4 can't get through there. But I had something very similar happen when I was like 5 years old. So I was playing with my friend one day. My friend was named Trey, and I was playing with him. I think I was like 5 or 6 at the time, and been in his place. His dad seemed like a cool guy and everything, but his dad told me, you need to go home. We're about to leave. So he put Trey inside the car, and I just went home and didn't think anything about it. But what had happened is that Trey had gotten outside of the car, and his dad did not know this, and the car he backed over him, or the car fell on him, and it crushed him.
Oh, Christ.
So my mom went out there and was like administering CPR to this kid to try to save him. And I was just sitting there staring from the screen. I was at the screen door, just sitting there staring. And I didn't really understand what was going on at the time. But suffice it to say, I'm sure that his dad felt like he was the worst dad in the world at that point. And also, I was not playing with Trey from that point on because Trey didn't make it. So yeah, at that age, you're really powerless and you can't do anything. And my mom was trying to do CPR, that didn't help, and that's just an awful thing to have happen for anybody. But I'm so much older now, and like that really never goes away because I'm always looking for personally, like I'm looking for kids when I'm backing out my car, because that's a real scary thing that can happen. And stuff like that happens so fast. Like I've been in so many accidents with, we joked about the deer, but I've been in so many accidents with the deer, and those things just happen so fast. And the only time I've ever had where I've really gotten irritated with parents is that there was like some hillbilly family living a few places down, because I live in a townhouse right now, and they just keep renting out properties, but they would just let their kids play in the parking lot, and they were really irresponsible about that. And it really, really ticked me off because they'd always have their kids out in the parking lot. And when I had to leave and back out the car and stuff, they were just so inattentive and wouldn't go get their kids and just be a responsible adult. And I also saw this another day when I was going over to my sister's place to mow her lawn. This dude was like playing on a go-kart in his place, and like there's a kid like 3 or 4 years old. He was just running down the street, and
like, what the fuck was this dude doing? We passed by this kid, and we were being very careful because, you know, kids could be erratic. They could run out into the street because they don't pay the best of attention and they don't have that experience. And especially at 3 or 4, you don't know how dangerous a car in the road could be.
Yeah.
But we caught this in the rear view mirror. This guy just picked up the kid and started beating the shit out of him. Like, bro, chill the fuck out. That was your fault, not his. He doesn't understand. That really irritated me and ticked me off. And I'm just gonna continue the episode at this point because that just pisses me off. So I did comment that this arc is a lot of foreshadowing, and
yeah,
is he right about this or is he wrong about this?
About what?
Because he's thinking about something, and this is not necessarily about the characters, not about Akane here, who's dressed up as Saihime, and not about Ai because she's dead, she can't come back.
I mean, can she not? I mean, isn't Aqua and Ruby reincarnations of previous people?
No, she can't come back.
Damn.
But is there somebody that he couldn't save that could come back and he could realize that?
Is there? Is it someone from this season? Seeing as I'm somebody who hasn't watched the first
what about that? What about that patient that he couldn't save because she was terminally ill, and that reincarnated as his sister?
Wait, what? There was a terminally ill patient he couldn't save?
Yeah. Yeah, Ruby is Sarina, the patient that he couldn't save because they just didn't have the medicine at the time, and she passed away, and then she became Ruby.
Okay.
And he kept blaming himself over that, you know. If only I was better or whatever, better at being a doctor, I could have saved her. And then you have Ai, he wasn't able to save her either, so he has a lot of built up guilt and trauma over those things. But what if that could happen? What would his reaction actually be?
Huh. I don't know. Okay, I apologize for being less commentative for this episode, or specifically Oshinoko. I don't mean that this episode of Anime Talk, but I don't like this got. I don't know, this episode. I mean, it isn't exactly like this. This show's been very lighthearted per se, but this episode specifically has been just like shit. I can't say silly things. I can't say funny things. It's too dark. I don't know the right word for it.
Yeah, I don't think it's the proper time to try to crack a joke.
Yeah, I know. But it's like I don't know. That's my usual response to things, though. It's like I'm like, you know, I'm that guy that when I get uncomfortable, you know, my first reaction is, you know, hey, first joke off top of my head to try and break tension. And every fiber of my being wants to do that, but I'm like, it's not the right time, and it would just sound so horrible to do so.
I mean, it's very nice. They're replaying that music that they very nice. Maybe I shouldn't say that because they're just playing that piece of music that they played when I got shanked and bled out. So yeah, that's very nice.
Oh yeah, very very pleasant. You know, yeah.
It's a good piece though.
But I mean, just watching him go through his head, and you know, like, I kept having that same self-serving dream, and you know, like wishing that, you know, that miracle could happen, you know, that I know can't happen, you know, for that dream that can never come true. Oh, I mean, how many of us have had some kind of traumatic experience that you've dwelled on and just wished that the fantasies of the shows and the movies and the mangas and the games we watch, where suddenly there's a way to bring them back. Suddenly everything will turn out okay. but you know it can't. You know it won't be. You know, it's that shit's fantasy.
And we're talking about a real traumatic experience, not if you went to the fast food restaurant and they got your order wrong. And you're like, oh my God, my day's ruined.
Yeah. Oh shit!
I can't believe that's an actual fucking thing.
I can't. I just can't go on with my day. My nailed chip right down the middle.
Life.
Oh fuck!
It's over for me.
Oh no! My cell phone ran out battery. I just can't. No, I just no way I can go on. You know, no. I mean, this is just. Hey! I got the uncomfortable joke out. Yay! But still, it's. Ow! It's why did we save this for last? Why did we save this for last this week? Well, then again, how could we have gone past this if this was like the first one? But still, I guess this would have to have been last.
Could you imagine watching Sheikah after this?
Dude, if we watched Sheikah after this, I would have gone. I would like, I'll be back. Tell me when the episode's over.
Expect more Sheikah at the top of the episode.
But yeah, oh, damn.
I will come back to this line. It seems pretty innocuous, but I will come back to it in future episodes when I'm talking about stuff and just going off the rails, but not going off the rails because I'm almost 100% I got everything right. Except the stuff that I got wrong.
Oh, of course, yes. That goes without saying.
I did get some things wrong and in my predictions, and I'll say a miss is a miss, and I'll own it, but the reason I got it wrong is because the casting list was the most unreliable shit in the entire thing. Outside of that, the narrative is actually very reliable. It's not like there's an unreliable narrator or anything in there. It's fucking super reliable. But I will come back to this. It's something that you blink and you'll miss it, but I didn't miss it because, well, I'll get to that later. But we will be coming back to this.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but I find this funny because all smokers have been banished to the smoking approved section from here on out. So I just find that funny. If you're at work or any place, like they passed a law how many years ago here that it's just pretty much illegal to smoke anywhere in our state. They have to go to the banishment spot to be able to smoke. Workplace, doesn't matter if you're a bar, doesn't matter. I just find that funny now.
I don't know. It's like that passed briefly after I had like a bit of an incident where I'm just like, what's even the point of having a smoking and non-smoking section if you're going to do this to people? Where Cindy and I were at a restaurant, and they literally sat us like we were in technically the non-smoking section, but we were sat across from like like the only thing dividing us from them was a little wall, like a little wall that was like shoulder high. But it was basically the same booth from smokers, and they're just sitting there while they're eating, and we're sitting there trying to eat, and it's just like, wow, all we have is this cloud of cigarette smoke in our face. It's like, why are we doing this?
I saw something interesting the other day that somebody posted something about NBA, old NBA photographs, that there's this blue haze in them, and it's no longer there. And that's because they used to allow smoking at the games, and they no longer do. So if you look up into the rafters or whatever, you won't see that blue haze anymore.
I don't know. This might get people mad at me, but I'm literally one of those people that's like, I generally like do what you want to do. I don't care what people do if it ain't hurting nobody.
Yeah.
But it's like you choose to smoke cigarettes. You puff to your heart's content until your lungs give out. Have fun. But when you're in public, you're now forcing that choice on everybody else. And I'm sorry. You don't have that right no more. That's just my opinion, because now it's not. It's not about. And it isn't like, well, yeah, I mean, the science about secondhand smoke, blah, 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 whatever. But it's like, when people have to, like, push through your cloud of smoke, to get to where they're trying to go and everything like that. Now you're imposing your shit on everybody else, and I'm sorry. Regardless of the health, implications or not, it's still, you're imposing your shit on everybody else now, and it's you don't have the right anymore. Bye.
Actually, we do have studies now that do link it, but I think when I was watching Penn and Teller's bullshit, they did an entire episode on this, and they're like, yeah, cigarette smokes is okay because there's no studies. And then, like, I believe it was 1 year later, a study came out linking it, so they kind of got pie in their face.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's not good for anybody.
Well, see, to me,
exactly what you said, though. If you want to smoke and do that and do a whole bunch of unhealthy stuff, whatever, I don't know, skydive out of a airplane without a parachute, knock yourself out. Just don't do it to other people.
Yeah, when you're having this, I guess, deep, insightful conversation about the cuteness, the perfect cuteness, the exceptional cuteness of idol girls and young teenage girl performers. Yeah, when you like leave your sentence trailing off and go into a creepy laugh, yeah, that I think it's going to set people off a little bit. It's like, oh, whoa, what are you thinking now?
I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't like the laugh to begin with. Maybe he only has a creepy laugh.
You mean like how you only have an angry stare?
Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on that.
Yeah, tell that to the Highway State Patrol person who pulled us over.
In my defense, I won that encounter.
What am I looking at? So, cigarette butts, like a wad of chewing gum or hairs.
He's just trying to get their DNA because he figured that since he has a DNA relationship to his father, that if he tests these people, he could find out who his father is.
Oh, they're their names. Oh, see, Goa. He's
Yeah.
the
Goa.
stage writer. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what's going on now. Okay. Wait, he did it for all the cast and the directors and everything?
Yeah, for all the male ones at least.
Oh, shit. Okay.
He's been doing this.
Okay. Seeing this kind of turning stage thing, you know what this kind of reminds me of? I mean, it's probably not exactly the same. Clearly not, because it was made, in the 40s, the 50s? I don't remember. But the rotating stage, and it kind of reminds me of that. There was a Disney... I hesitate to call it a ride, per se. I think it was called, like, the Carousel of Progress or something like that. Where it would, like, spin to, like, different stage sets that would, like, be a different decade. It would show, like, how technology had progressed throughout the years. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I've never been on this ride.
I think it's gone now. I think it's many years now, like, decommissioned, I think.
Excellent.
But it was a rotating theater with, like, it was like animatronics, though. It was all like basically animatronics that sort of stood in place, but they bobbed and moved their arms and stuff like that, as animatronics do. Yeah, to talk about how technology and stuff has progressed throughout the ages. But I'm just talking about, like, the theater kind of reminds me of that. Like, if they did, like, a modern version, they could do, like, screens popping in and out from the sides and stuff like that. And I'm just like, it's just a fascinating concept. Because, again, I mean, I know I've said this in a previous episode. I want to see a stage... I want to be in that audience. Like, straight up. I want to see a stage play like this. I want it to be real, damn it. I want it to be.
I don't know anything about what Featherhoof said. All I was thinking about is that it must be really interesting to go with him to a theme park, because going on the rides, I don't think he would go on many of the rides. Because roller coaster, would you do that?
Yes.
Bungee jumping.
What theme park have you been to that has bungee jumping as a ride?
I have been to them.
No.
I've been to them. I don't want to say them because that would just give our general area away, but
good call.
Yeah. You know what? Cedar Point. What about those things that just go straight up and then come back down? I don't know what those are called.
I know what you're talking about. Like the, it's like a basically like a square pillar that goes straight up, and the little seats all around it, and they go straight. Yeah, I've been on those.
So your fear of heights does not prevent you from doing this.
It does not. Now, am I shitting my pants while I'm doing this? Yes. But, I don't know. It's a weird fun type of shitting my pants. You know, it's like, it's like going to a horror movie. You know you're going to get scared. Well, a good horror movie, at least. You know you're going to get scared, but you go to watch it anyway.
What about those round rooms where the floor drops out and you just get pinned to the wall by the centripetal forces?
Well, seeing as I can't really look down on those rides, my head's kind of slammed up against the wall. Yeah, I've done those before.
I'm trying to think. So the bungee jumping is the only one that would you'd be like, no.
Correct. Because on those, I'm specifically watching the ground coming at my face at terminal velocity until this rope that I'm attached to stretches out far enough that it brings me back up. Fuck that.
I feel like we've accomplished a lot here.
Oh, shit. How much do I owe you for the hour? Ugh, fuck. Damn therapist panda over here. Having his, getting some, breakthroughs with me.
I kind of miss that the statue has 4 arms. Yeah, just a side note. I don't know which mudra, which is just, I guess the Indians told me that it is, mudras are just ninja shit from Naruto. So I don't know what the outstretched arms means. I'll have to look that up.
It means give me a hug. Duh.
I just noticed that the statue has 4 arms and not 2.
You know, if I ever went to Japan, I would want to go to one of these places.
Agreed.
I'd want to go to one of the onsen places, the hot springs. I would want to go to these places right here. Yummy. It's tasty looking. I would say I would want to go during the spring to see the sakura blossoms, but when we lived on, we had a sakura tree in the backyard, so...
Huh.
Of course, the city pitched a fit, and then they had the landlord had to come cut it down, and... Don't understand why. Yeah, so that's the end of the episode, and just to recap, we're not going to be covering this next week because it's going to be a... Is it a recap episode is what they call it? Yeah, same thing, whatever. But we've learned a lot.
Filler.
We've learned a lot that Himikawa and Aqua are related.
Sweet! But wait. Wait. So Aqua and Ruby's blonde hair, is that natural?
I don't believe that they have blonde hair. I think it's just artistic representation or whatever.
Because,
I think that they have
blue hair, right?
What?
Didn't I have blue hair?
Oh, I thought you were saying yourself that you had blue hair. I was like, wait, what hair?
Didn't Love have blue hair?
No, she has purple hair.
Purple. Okay. So I'm just like, I'm looking. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I'm focusing on the hair color, but it's like, well, he had to have gotten the blonde hair from someone in the genetic process, right? But
yeah,
not necessarily. I guess not necessarily. But but if he's got blue hair, but I mean, it's like if they share. Well, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. I was trying to put two and three together to somehow get 7, but I don't know.
I think they're just normal Japanese kids. They would have like brown or blackish hair, but for whatever reason, you know, like Akane has blue hair. Nobody has blue hair, so
okay.
This is just I don't want to say that word.
Doesn't this dude have blue hair?
No, I think he has black or brownish hair.
Oh. I think it's just the lighting in this scene right now.
Maybe it's just the lighting that's throwing you off. But I will say, minor spoilers, that their dad does have the same hair color as them.
As them?
Ruby and Aqua.
Oh, okay.
Because they're both blondes or whatever. Anyway, good episode.
Agreed.
Makes up for the fact that we had to watch Shikanoka this week.
uh, well, I mean, like I said, this show it gets difficult for me to talk about because, like I said, my usual like wanting to make a silly, response to a lot of things. Like we've had an episode like that before where the one with the one dude who was coming to terms with the way he acted, his acting and stuff like that, and his
Melt.
career in acting. Yeah, and it's just all of a sudden the art got really fucking amazing, and it was just like the both of us, we sat there for about like 12 minutes of that episode just agape. We're just like staring quietly at what was happening on the screen. We couldn't comment. There was nothing. It was just like, fuck. This is another episode that's sort of similar, just in a different way, where it's just like, what can I say?
So yeah, they're doing a recap episode next week, so we're not gonna be covering this. But I think this brings up an interesting question. Is this gonna be like what is this episode 8? Is this gonna be like 8.5, and it's not gonna count towards?
Shouldn't this be episode 9? Because we're on week 9?
Oh, yeah. They only had 11 episodes in the... Okay, so this is episode 9. So will the recap episode be like an episode 9.5 where it doesn't actually count towards the episode? Because we still have 4 episodes left, so will we have to double up on this on 1 week? Because they'll have like a dual featurette for the ending or something.
I don't know. We'll have to find out. And with that, we come to the end of week 9. And, hey, 2 shows continuously getting better, continuously getting more intriguing, continuously drawing us in. 1 show... I don't want to not like it, but it keeps forcing me to.
Yeah, and if you don't know how we tend to do things around here, we try to get the thing that we don't like out of the way first. So we may be seeing a lot more Sheikah at the top of the show. So
unless somehow unless they do something in the next few episodes that just like blows our minds, just like subverted all the expectations, and it led up to this hilarious thing to prove that it's worthy of being called a comedy. I don't know. I mean, it's it's one of those things. I think we're probably going to keep with it. We're probably going to stick with it because I mean we have for 9 weeks.
Yes, this is true. All of our costs are sunk, so we're going with the sunk cost fallacy here, and we are going to finish Shikanoko. Unlike that one show that I can't remember what it was that we just dropped and mid-season, and they pretended we were watching another show the entire time, but...
I don't think we got to mid-season. It might have been like episode 2 or 3.
I think we were like 3 or 4 episodes into it, and then we were like, yeah, let's watch this show instead.
We'll see. I think at this point we're just gonna, we're standing on the edge of the ship and it's sinking. It's like, well, might as well see how far this goes.
I mean, the ocean's pretty deep.
Yeah, we'll see. But for that, thank you all so much for watching this episode. If you enjoyed it, please let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, share it, or you can click on the annotations for other things we've done. Hey, if you particularly like Shikanoko and you want to tell us how wrong we are in the comments below, please do so. Tell us that we're wrong and why you think we're wrong. We would love to hear it. That's what they're for. But
True.
But for now, take care, and we will see you all next time.
Next time.
Bye-bye.